awoken.
Yeah?
The time has come. When darkness befalls the land, a hero of light shall rise.
Right.
You are that hero. You are the chosen one. The warrior who will drive back the darkness and save the world.
Well, can I have a nice sword then?
No.
Ah, gee, thanks, video games. Nice of you to dump all world-saving responsibility on our level 1 shoulders and then not even have the decency to give us a weapon. Here are 7 times you started out as a total nobody. Thanks, games. Thank you very much. Our first entry is Dark Souls. Now, if you finish Dark Souls, you'll know what an incredible challenge it is to surmount. You have to battle demons, and dragons, and knights, and giant wolves, and Ornstein and Smough, Smoo, Smaug, and get through Sen's Fortress and Flipperneck. Besting that lot would be impressive even if you were playing as Batman. So the fact you start out as a walking corpse in a prison full of other corpses is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. Here you are, the character that will scale the heights of Anor Londo and vanquish Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, waking up inside a dark, damp, stinking hellhole full of rats and skeletons and rubbish weapons. I know Dark Souls doesn't like holding hands and all, but this seems particularly cruel. I mean, you don't even have a face at the start, for crying out loud. Would it have been too much to ask to give us a face? You are less than nothing, a worm in rags. A weak, pitiful, low-level scrounger, scavenging rusty swords and broken shields from the bones of the dead, bricking it whenever an enemy so much as glances in your direction. In many ways, the state of the chosen undead at the beginning of Dark Souls mirrors the state of first-time Dark Souls players. You're less than a noob here. You're a scab, a crusty nothing. But herein lies the brilliance of Dark Souls. We were all as rubbish as this at the start. I still am. And the satisfaction of going from this to high-level conqueror of the world, clad in gleaming armour and with a loadout that would be the envy of any RPG character, is unrivaled. We've got the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion next, a game so perfectly imperfect, I'm not sure any of us deserve it. It's too pure, especially this opening. Imagine buying a game that starts like this, and then having the first thing you actually do in the game being waking up in a jail cell while Captain Trash Talk over here roasts you with a sardonicism that could melt all the Oblivion gates put together.
Your own kinsmen think you're a piece of human trash. How sad.
I thought I was going to be the saviour of the world. Eventually you are, yes, but the hero of Kvatch, Grandmaster of the Blades and champion of Cyrodiil started life like this. In fact, you won't even see daylight for the first half hour or so as you sneak and stumble your way through an underground cavern, shooting arrows at buckets and poking rats with grimy swords, before eventually you're belched out of a sewer, weak and reeking, and left to fend for yourself in a massive open world. Cheers, Oblivion! Our third entry is Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, which already has won over on our first 2 entries by having the good grace to bestow upon your character a name. Abe is a Madokan slave working for Rupture Farms, a gluttonous corporation with a hideous plan to boost profits by turning its workforce into produce. Abe gets wind of this and so begins his journey to bring down the fat cats at the top and free his kind from slavery. Abe is the furthest you can get from your typical video game hero, however. He's a floor waxer, employee of the month, yes, but normally you will need more than that to take down a final boss. He doesn't really have any weapons or physical strength. He can fart, I suppose, which is better than nothing, and also possess enemies, but really, Abe is a nobody, a tiny cog in a massive machine, which makes his journey all the more satisfying when you come to its conclusion. Against all the odds, Abe rises to the challenge and really sticks it to the man. I mean, if you don't save enough Madokans, he gets chucked in a meat grinder, but that's the non-canon bad ending, reserved for those who haven't been playing properly. Abe inspires his friends to stand up to their corporate overlords, makes them realise that if they work together, i.e. all swarm in at once and raise merry hell, you can do anything. And all this achieved by a simple worker in a meat processing factory. Good work, Abe. Our fourth entry is Mountain Blade Warband, an often overlooked RPG set in a fictional medieval world that lets you make a character from scratch before deciding how you want to play. Now, Mountain Blade has a very interesting character creation system. You could almost call it character creation and difficulty setting rolled into one, as who you choose to play as affects how easily you'll be able to rise through the ranks of whatever faction you choose to join. You don't even have to join a faction either, you could just be an outlaw, which makes things even harder. Basically, because of the medieval inspired setting, playing as a man and as a noble is basically like choosing easy mode. But that's not what we're after on this list, is it? We want a nice, horrible start in life, otherwise, where's the challenge? So if you create a character not of noble birth, you're going to have a more difficult time. If you choose to play a female character, that's going to get even harder, as women are an oppressed class and looked down upon politically and socially by the men who stomp about deciding how everything happens. But crucially, you can still reach the top no matter what backstory you decide for your character. So be a commoner, be a street urchin, be a nobody, and climb that ladder. It's like when you play career mode in FIFA, isn't it? You know, you want to start with one of the rubbish teams, don't you? Like Yeovil or Hartlepool or Brighton, and then experience the satisfaction of taking them all the way to Premier League glory. Similarly, in Mountain Blade, you can start with pretty much just the clothes on your back and work your way to glory. Lovely. Our fifth entry is Minecraft, a bit of a departure from the RPG heavy nature of the rest of this list, but really it's the epitome of the start out with nothing and build a world spanning empire genre, because in Minecraft you really do start out with nothing. A single adventurer thrown into a near endless world and tasked with surviving the various hazards coming your way once night falls. Also, Herobrine, the Minecraft ghost, watch out for that. You don't even get given a basic item at the start of Minecraft, you literally have to build stuff from nothing. You have to get your hands dirty. Harvesting materials from the world allows you to build simple tools, which allow you to harvest slightly better materials and make slightly better tools, and so on and so forth, until presumably you end up with a luxury palace to hang out in with all your Minecraft mates. I don't know, I never got that far. I just like to play the game where you dig down as far as you can go and then see how long it takes you to get all the way back out again. But then I'm an idiot. The main thing is you really can build some incredible stuff in Minecraft. I've seen images online of people recreating locations from famous movies and TV shows, and it's fantastic. Even more impressive when you consider you start the game as a nameless nobody, scrabbling in the dirt with your bare hands. I mean, is this more harsh than Dark Souls? I think it's more harsh than Dark Souls. Imagine if you had to fight the Taurus demon with a sword you'd cobbled together with sticks and bits of mud. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is our sixth entry, not a series you probably expected to be on this list, as often you start out as a somebody in GTA, even if that somebody is down on their luck. But CJ, at the start of San Andreas, is pretty low. His mum's just died, he arrives back in Los Santos with the police on his back, his gang and family broken, overrun and demoralised, with no money, no weapons, a run-down old house in a tough neighbourhood, a white vest, a pair of jeans and barely enough strength to pedal a bicycle. San Andreas was the first GTA to really let players take control of their character and mould him as they saw fit. And so while it was harsh, it sort of made sense that you started out with nothing at all. By the time I was finished with San Andreas, my CJ was a colossus. Incredible physique, bags of money, beautiful houses all over the state, a fleet of incredible cars, a gang that practically ruled Los Santos, and a wardrobe that would impress even the Fab Five. Yes, that was a Queer Eye reference. Jonathan is my favourite and I can't wait for Season 3. Anyway, GTA San Andreas, what a game. I mean, thanks a bunch for the rubbish start, but oh, the satisfaction of slowly rising to power, of eating well and hitting the gym and beating the ballers and getting a cool haircut and awesome cars and pretty much going from zero to hero. Always remember where you came from though. You came from the Grove with a rubbish bike and arms the size of toothpicks. Final entry, and it's a banger. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a realistic historical RPG set in real-world mainland Europe in the 15th century, and you are the most nobody of all nobodies. Your dad's pretty cool, to be fair, he's really good at making swords for important people, but you spend most of your time losing fistfights and then throwing poo at people's houses. So off you go, Henry, off into a brutal world of violence and war with no skills whatsoever and not even any parents anymore. Let's see how you do. Badly, and for lots of hours. I mean, for ages you can't do anything. I died just walking from one town to another at one stage. I was messing about and jumped from too high and then slowly bled out as I limped for help that never came. You have to eat or you go hungry, but not too much or you'll get bloated, which will negatively affect your stats. You're a peasant, everyone hates you, speaks to you like garbage, and you barely have enough money for a bath, let alone a decent set of armour. In fact, if you want to wear anything decent at all, you have to scavenge it from a corpse, and you won't be finding many of those because you won't be strong enough to kill anyone. It's a slow burn, Kingdom Come Deliverance, you know. You really have to earn your way through the story. Play patiently. Avoid conflict unless absolutely necessary. You can't muck about Skyrim-like and expect to get away with it. You can't go wandering off without food to sustain you, and if you go into battle against anyone even remotely well equipped, you will lose. But keep going. Slowly but surely, you will gain strength, collect experience, earn money, get better armour, and from the dirt, a rose will blossom. I mean, I don't know if you could ever describe Henry as a rose, but you get the idea. There are few games that start you off as frugally as Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's a real test of will and determination, but overcome the hurdles and it's one heck of a satisfying RPG. And so there we go, 7 times you started out as a total nobody, but eventually became a world beater. Let us know in the comments if you can think of any other examples, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit that notification bell so you always know when a new Friday feature goes live. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.
For the players.